Today, February 7, a wealthy investor traded $324 million of Tesla stock options. So in this video, we will be analyzing these 42,720 unusual options to predict where Tesla's stock price is going. Because we know that the rich get richer. And so by following their trades, there's a higher chance that we can make money. We will also analyze the performance of this wealthy investor by looking at the historical data, so we can also make a good judgment of whether or not this investor in particular has a good record, so that we can decide, should we follow them? Because we only want to follow the trades of wealthy investors who have been correct in the past. That increases our probability of profit. And that's what we do in our analyses work. So without further ado, let's get to this trade here. A very large trade, expires April's and the May's. So two options this investor traded. 240 strike calls. We can see that they bought these calls. Now, before we assume that this is a bullish trade, buying calls, we have to take a deeper look at the chain. So for the 240 strike calls for the Aprils, we can see them right here. Open interest of 58,000. That is greater than the 42,720. So these are not being bought to open. There's a greater probability that these are being closed. They're being bought to close, meaning they were originally sold to open. Okay? So they're closing out of this position and opening the May's. 200 strike calls. You can see that the open interest was just 3,600. Volume, 45,000. So there's a much greater probability that these 200 strike calls are being sold to open. And by selling these calls to open, each contract, you can see, this is a naked call here, requires $7,600 per contract to sell these calls. And since they did 42,720 contracts, this trade was $324 million. Very, very large trade. And so we can see here, this trade, is it bullish or bearish? It is mildly bullish. You can see that it can go up because these are selling calls, but the overall delta is a negative delta, which is bearish. Okay, so we would not buy Tesla stock because this is a trade that in which they're selling call options. Okay, we would only buy when the deltas are positive, and they are positive in a way where we can see profits going up. Okay, in this case, you can see the profits. If Tesla goes up, currently at 187, if it goes up, it's actually a decrease in profits, right? And we would not necessarily short it because you can see that this is a mildly, this is not a very bearish trade because the profits are capped here. Okay, so if you are interested in the trades where you can buy, or wealthy investors are buying, and you can see there's a lot of profit potential, then go to our website. You can learn more and get access to some of our trade alerts where we show when the wealthy investors are trading for which stocks so that you can diversify your portfolio, because Not all of the wealthy investors are correct all the time. So you have to diversify your portfolio with different stocks that have the rich trading. Okay, so make sure to go to our website to learn more and to find out whether or not this wealthy trader's performance has been good in the past. We have to look at the data as well. So back on December 28, okay, we can see here, this is the date, December 28, when Tesla was trading at 253. For the Aprils, the ones that we had discussed that they were closing, buying to close, we can see now at the 240s, volume 36,000, much greater than the open interest of 1,900. So this was the day when they had opened their trade, when they sold to open the trade. And on December 28, what happened? Notice December 28 here, right before New Year's. This was when Tesla was trading here. And ever since then, you can see that on December 28, once they had sold those calls, Tesla stock has been going down. There was one green day here. This day, January 8. Okay? And what's unusual on January 8 is that you can see here on this day, after Tesla had dropped to 240, you can see the 240 strike calls here. 7,000 volume. We had those open 38,000 from December 28. And so the next day, you can see here, we have now the total open interest of 45,000 there now. So we know that on January 8, they had sold to open. Again, they added to their contracts. Okay, so that is how we know that this trader knew what they were doing. On the day it was green, they continued to add and sold calls, and Tesla continues to go down. So their trade was profitable by selling those calls. All right, by selling these calls, they've been able to collect premium as Tesla drops, so that they can reduce their potential losses if they had the stock as an underlying. If they did not have the stock, well, they would not be at a loss, they would be profitable. Okay, so selling call options, if they had the stock and they sold it, could be a covered call strategy to reduce their loss. Okay, so this is what this wealthy investor is doing with Tesla. And we can see here that by selling these 200 strike calls, their break even, you can see here, is actually over right here. This is where the zero profit loss on the y-axis, 0 here represents profit or loss. Okay, so if the blue line is above 0, that's a profit. If it's below the 0 on the y-axis, that's a loss at expiration. Okay, the purple line is the current date, and the blue line is the expiration of May 17. Okay, so this is how the chart is used. You can see that their break even is at about 214. So Tesla, as long as Tesla trades below 214, this trade is profitable. Okay, so this is what this chart And analysis is telling us based on this trade 214. Okay, where is 214? Right about here. So notice that 214 is actually where Tesla was trading before the earnings drop. And so this wealthy investor is selling the call options here at this level because he or she thinks there is a good chance that Tesla will not be trading above this level again, because that there could be a strong resistance since this was the prior consolidation level before the earnings drop. All right, so that is our analysis based on these $324 million of stock options being traded. Let us know what you think. And if you're interested in profitable trades that the wealthy are trading, where you want to get in on, make sure to go to our website. Okay, because this trade right now is not something you could get in and profit from. You may be able to short it, but selling these call options is not necessarily a very bearish trade. So let us know in the comments below what you think will happen to Tesla. If you like this video, please smash the like button. Subscribe if you haven't, and go to our website if you want to learn more on our analyses and get trade alerts on what the rich is trading, because as we all know, the rich get richer. Have a great day. Take care.